Hello internet friends, my name is Catherine and I'm the human behind Christian Miss Couture, and today is day 6 of our Vlogmas series. So we're going to be trying to dye something that did not work out, so you will have fun. So it's the good, bad, and the uglies with this series. What can I say? I will have a redemption arc, hopefully, for this specific color because I have a candy cane color that is the bane of my existence, but it's still very pretty. But before we do that, this is the section of the vlog day where I will share with you an idea for a Christmas present, Hanukkah, or whichever holiday you're celebrating right now. And we have here the Doodle Knit Directory from Jamie Lomax. So she's the person behind Pacific Knit Co. So this is a reference book with, well, 200 mix and match motifs and patterns. So you have all of that. There's also the information to do cowl, mittens, and also scarves, infinity scarves and stuff like that. So it's a super fun book to have on hand for people that likes color work or would like to try color work. I will say that color works seems intimidating. However, with this book, it's not as daunting as it is, and I really like that you can mix and match whichever motif you want, because you can create something really unique that will look like you. So now let's get into today's episode. Hello and welcome back to another one where I'm doing all my winter collection colorways, and today we're going to rework a color that I called candy cane. When I first developed that color, I was hand painting the skeins and it was a hassle, okay? So I hated that color because it was taking so long, and I was convinced that there was a way for me to do it that would be more efficient. And now I think I'm ready to use a syringe to do what I want to do. So first thing we're going to do is our stock solution. So I'm going to be doing a 1% stock solution, but I'm going to do a lot of it because I need a lot of it, I think. Anyways, and then we're going to go into the pen. So first thing first, before we open the jar, what do we need? We need a respirator that will avoid you breathing any fine particles. It doesn't have to be this specific brand, it just have to be a respirator where you won't be breathing any fine particles, because we only have one pair of lungs, so please protect them. Okay, so that being said, what we're going to do once we've got our mask on and that the mask is adjusted is make sure that our scale is at 0, and then we're going to measure our dry powder. I think we're going to be good with that amount. Okay, perfect. So that's good. We're going to stir this. I'm going to remove my mask because I don't need my mask anymore. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to go in the pan. Okay, so I'm going to be adding my citric acid now because I want the dye to strike rather quickly. And I'm going to be using a little bit more citric acid than what I would normally do because, once again, I want the dye to strike rather quickly. And I have 8 cups of tap water in here. So usually for citric acid wise, I would do 1 teaspoon per skein of yarn that I have. However, since I want a higher acidity level, I've done 2 teaspoons per skein, so roughly 1 tablespoon for the entire thing, where usually it would be 1 tablespoon per pound, so 454 grams of yarn. So, and we're going to be using my superwash merino on worsted weight, and we're only going to have 2 skeins in the pan because I want to be able to spread the yarn like that as much as possible. There we go. And we've put a little bit more liquid than what I would normally put in the pans, but that's because it will offer a little bit more resistance than if we had a lower level of water, because we don't want the color to move too much, because we want to do stripes onto this yarn. So I'm just going to grab my gloves. So you might see me fail miserably. We shall see. I hope not. Okay. So I will be using the syringe to grab the dye. And we want to go with intention like this. And I'm going to really quickly turn on the heat. And we don't want the color to move too much, so it won't spread too much. Like this. So I'm going to wait about 10 minutes, leave it as is, and then we're going to come back to do the other portion of it. And we might have, we will probably have to flip the yarn. Did I turn it on? Yes, I did. Okay. We might have to flip the yarn to do the other side. I'm very certain we'll have to do it. So I will see you in about 10 to 15 minutes. So this is not going well. I think that maybe my hand painting job was the actual solution back in the day, and that's why this is not working out. Yeah, so I guess we're not getting a revamp of, oh gosh, this is a mess. But you know what we can do now? We can just have fun. I'm just going to, I don't know. We're going to, it's no longer going to be candy cane. I'm sorry, friends. We're just going to do a variegated pink and red now. It's no longer going to be what I want it to be. Oh, this is a disaster. Anyways, sorry about that, friends. And I can't even pretend that it's going to be Santa's hat because the dye job is not even enough. So, oh well. I'm going to let this cook for 30 minutes and then, yeah. Sorry about that, friends. I guess that's why I was hand painting my skeins. It's still going to be pretty, I'm sure. Oh, I could speckle it. Let's do some speckles so it's not like completely wasted. Yeah. Okay. Let's do some speckles. Just for fun. Okay, what kind of speckles should we do? I don't want to do green. I don't want to do black, but black is nice. We could just go with gray, or maybe fawn. Hmm. Hmm. Maybe chartreuse. Nah. Let's go with indigo blue because it's going to be dark. So before I do any speckling, we are going to put our respirator on because this is important to protect our lungs. I'm curious to see this. Okay, there we go. So that should be interesting, at least. So yeah, now we are going to let this cook for 30 minutes, and then we're going to let it cool completely before washing off any excess dye. I feel we might have some excess dye happening here, so see you in 30 minutes. Okay, so we are all good, and we are going to be just turning this off, and we're going to let it completely cool off before we are going to be washing off any excess dye. So I will see you later today. Let's go ahead and wash off any excess dye from those skeins that I I didn't destroy it. That's not the right word. I did not achieve what I wanted to achieve. So that's fine. Okay, so we're going to let this soak for probably like 10-15 minutes just to give it a chance to release all excess dye because we're using red, so usually we do end up with quite a bit of excess dye. So I will see you in about 10 minutes, and yeah, I'll see you in 10 minutes. Okay, let's take a look at this. Oh, I don't have the light on. That's why I can't see. Okay, I have a little bit of color in the water, which I'm not surprised because sometimes when you speckle things, you will end up with clumps of dry powder that needs to be dissolved. And sometimes also you end up with dry powder on your tie wraps. So it's why it's important to give a good wash. But with the color I've seen in the basin, I think we should be good with just one more soak. Yeah, I think just this one extra soak and we'll be good. So I will see you in 10 minutes. And yeah, that's what's going to happen. See you in 10 minutes. I'm okay with that level of color. So we are going to put this in the spin dryer to remove all excess water, and we're going to let it dry overnight, and I will see you tomorrow for the final results. Bye! And here's the final result for my failed attempt at redoing my candy cane colorway. Everything went wrong, but it's fine. We still ended up with pretty colors. It was a good idea to add the indigo blue as a speckle, so there's that. Am I disappointing? A little bit, but it's fine. We're gonna survive this. I've learned quite a bit. I think one of the mistakes I made was to stretch the yarn. I should have let it as is when I placed it in the pan, because it removed a little bit of the natural resistance that was created with the slightly higher immersion. So there was a little bit too much room for the dye to move around. So I think if I were to retry this, I'm not going to retry that right now because I'm yeah, exactly, that's how I feel. So yes, I think if I didn't move this, if I didn't stretch the fiber in the yarn, I think we would have had the result I was expecting from it. So it's just a learning experience at this point. But If you liked the video, please consider sharing, liking, and subscribing, and I will see you in the next one very soon. Bye!